Let's see here. I will call the meeting to order at 7 o'clock, January 27th. Hang on just a second. I'm going to get rid of that. Okay. First thing we'll do is do a roll call. Commissioner Bovers.
Present.
Commissioner Bush.
Present.
Commissioner Moe.
Present.
Commissioner Greenberg.
Present.
Commissioner Torgerson. Absent. Commissioner Tao. We got a note on Commissioner Tao. He is going to be absent tonight. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, yeah, we have a quorum tonight. We have 5 of us here. All right, we can get going with that. This is the opportunity now for, we'll do number 2, opportunity for public comment on non-agenda items. Do we have anybody from the public that wants to speak on a non-agenda item?
We do not have anyone from the public in the meeting.
Okay, well, we opened it at 7:01 and we'll close it at 7:01 as well, with no one here to speak on anything that's not on the agenda. Let's see here. Number 3, we need to approve the minutes for our December 9th, 2021 Planning Commission meetings. Are there any additions or corrections? If you've had a chance to review the minutes? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the minutes from our December 9th, 2021 meeting?
I'll move we approve the minutes from December 9th, 2021.
Okay. Commissioner Greenberg.
I'll second.
Approve. Second, Mr. Bovers.
Yeah, Commissioner Bovers. Yeah.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Yeah, it's unanimous, approved. So our minutes are approved. And we move right into number 4 on our agenda tonight. It's the amendments to floodplain regulations addressing accessory structures in North Bend Municipal Code 14.12.120. There's 3 parts to this. The first part is A, staff introduction.
Right, thank you. So this is a pretty small and simple amendment, but there's a little bit of history to it to let you know about, to give context. So the city updated our flood regulations about well, a year and a half ago now, and that was necessary for bringing our flood regulations into conformance with the current flood mapping. FEMA updated our mapping, and when we did that, we also were required to come into compliance with updates to the state floodplain model for the National Flood Insurance Program. As a part of that, FEMA created a policy that limited accessory non-elevated structures to the size of a 2-car garage. The intent of that is they're trying to minimize flood damage claims. They want to make sure that the flood insurance program is solvent and we don't wind up with more claims overall than payment back into the system to keep it functioning. So the idea there was, if it's a 2-car garage, that's a typical storage type of thing for residents. Anything beyond that, you're storing additional stuff that could get damaged in a flood and then wind up with flood claims that are expensive to the National Flood Insurance Program. So they didn't define, though, at that time, what a 2-car garage was, how big it was. And so the city at the time used 400 square feet, knowing that there was another ordinance by another jurisdiction that was approved with 400 square feet as a limit. Since that time, FEMA created updated policy guidance on what a 2-car garage could consist of. And so they said it's approximately 600 square feet. The city wanted to make sure that we're following that to make it easier for residents that want to provide accessory structures. So right now, just in this last year, we've had 2 applicants that wanted to put in 2-car garages. And those 2-car garages were larger than 400 square feet. I don't remember the exact square footage of what they were. But to do that, they had to either elevate the garage, which is a difficult, complicated process, or you would have to apply for a variance. So they applied for a variance. And a variance is a relatively cumbersome process, and it's intended to be so because you don't want too many variances provided. you've got to show some sort of hardship, and you've got to follow the criteria of that variance. So that means that staff have to process that. It's reviewed by our floodplain administrator, signed by our public works director, and all of that time gets billed to the applicant. So it's a lot of time and a lot of process for a fairly simple, straightforward accessory structure. So we want to simplify that. And what we've done is we proposed originally to increase that to 650 square feet, which is the size of a larger 2-car garage. We wanted flexibility. We felt that being in the North Bend floodplain, which is behind uncertified levees, we don't really see much flood damage occur in North Bend, and we felt like that was an appropriate flexible addition. So FEMA commented back to us, and I forwarded those comments to you, that they felt that 600 square feet should be the limit consistent with the guidance language. They said that in fairly strong language, saying that if we were to go beyond 600 square feet, that could jeopardize our participation in the National Flood Insurance Program. We certainly don't want to do that because we want our residents to be able to be insured with flood insurance. That can be pretty significant problems for mortgages and so forth if we can't. So since that time, city staff, I amended the staff report to you, and the amendments, those are in the second attachment to the Planning Commission meeting invite tonight. And that then just limits the addition from 400 square feet as it currently is to 600 square feet, consistent with the FEMA guidance. So that's our staff recommendation to approve that amendment. We did receive an additional comment from Mike Thomas. He had concerns about drainage impacts or stormwater impacts from that. The thing I want to respond to with that comment is that that's a stormwater issue and not a floodplain issue. The floodplain regulations are really addressed or really intended to address flood regulations and flood potential flood impacts. Also, not allowing anything beyond 400 square feet with the accessory structure limitation it doesn't actually limit 400 square feet. It just means that non-elevated accessory structures are limited to 400 square feet. You can still go as big as you want. You then just have to elevate. So to Mr. Thomas's comment, it's not necessarily going to do any difference from a stormwater standpoint. You just are elevating as opposed to what's called wet flood proofing, which means you're venting your walls to allow the flood water to pass through, which is required for a accessory structure. With that, let me turn it back to you guys for questions. We can open the public hearing formally, even if there's no one here. And I'll then take your questions and deliberation. Well, you're on mute, Judy.
Okay, sorry about that. You don't see anyone for the public hearing?
No, we still don't have anyone from the public in attendance.
Okay,
So if you can still formally open it and close it.
yeah, I will. I will open the public hearing at 7:09 p.m. Anyone in, Mike? Do you see anyone in coming
We
in?
don't have anyone from the public in attendance.
Okay.
So you can go ahead and close it.
Okay, thank you. Hearing none, I will close the public hearing at 7:09 as well. Now, do you want us to put a motion on the table and then do the deliberation piece of it? Or do we understand any questions that we have? Would you like that? Is that what we want to do now?
Yeah, usually if there's any specific questions, this would be the time. Otherwise, if there's no questions, you can make a motion and then discuss the motion.
Okay. I have one quick question on the the 600 square feet. I don't measure my garage, but it's a 2-car garage. And so I'm assuming that's pretty close to a 600. On the newer homes, Is that just about what they do? Is the 600, is that pretty standard is my question. Is that,
Yeah,
are we
600
allowing?
square feet, it will give you a 2-car garage.
Okay.
We were
okay.
hoping with the 650 to have a little more flexibility. So like the garage with the little workshop in the back where the cars are kind of thing. But
Yeah.
we want to be consistent with FEMA's language.
Okay, okay. As long as that's what's going on, then I'm comfortable with that. Any of my other commissioners have any questions or concerns with this?
Yeah, the, 400, that's a pretty tight 2-car garage.
Yeah, yeah, that's literally just enough room to have a relatively small car with no space for anything else.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah, that's car next to car, no other space around it.
okay. Any other commissioners have anything that they want to do? If we put a, Olivia, did you have something you wanted to share?
No, I understand why people would be worried if we did increase it, but I do like keeping it all the same. I feel like 400 sounds better than 600 in my head, but I don't have any science-based evidence to prove that it will make a huge difference. So I do trust that FEMA does this and they know what they're talking about. So I'm okay with it. Do any other commissioners that have been on this planning commission longer than me have any experience in changing recommendations for floodplains? I guess I'm trying to think of a negative.
If the FEMA guidance was out when we had updated our code, we would be at 600 square feet now. We had to pick something at random because there was no guidance put together on a 2-car garage. So that's
Well, I like that we
We're right.
I like that we were conservative, but
But again, it's the threshold is not a size limit. It's more just at which point you have to elevate the garage. So if you
Correct.
want a 2,000 square foot garage, you can build that. You just have to elevate it.
I kind of want to see that happen.
Yeah.
Big ramp.
Thank you. Anybody else? Heather, any questions at all?
No, I don't have any questions. I'm glad as long as we're following FEMA guidance. I did think the 650 as like the size of a small studio apartment, it seemed a little big, and I was wondering what the cumulative effect of that extra 50 feet times however many permit requests was, but it's kind of a moot point now. So
Yeah.
yeah, as long as we're following the FEMA guidance, which is usually best
Yeah.
based on best available science, and it sounds good.
I agree. Okay. Does someone want to make a motion so we can, well, actually, I think there is a motion in here.
I can make a motion.
Thank you. Yes,
Sure.
please.
Okay, following consideration of the comprehensive plan and development regulation amendment process in NBMC 20.08.070 through 20.08.110 and public comment received prior to the public hearing, the Planning Commission recommends approval of the draft amendments to the floodplain management regulations in NBMC 14.12.120 addressing accessory residential structures as provided in the attached Exhibit A, with the exception of changing 650 square feet to 600 square feet.
Do I hear a second?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and second that, Commissioner Moe.
Okay, Commissioner Moe is a second. All in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
And
Aye. It passed. We're done.
Yep.
Thank you very much. Anything else? I think that's it then for tonight. Is that correct?
That is, yeah,
That
fairly
is.
straightforward thing. That was a fairly small amendment, but it does make a difference for those folks that want to construct those garages. So
Good. Okay, we'll take care of that then. For you. All right. Do I have I don't need a motion. I can close the meeting at 7:15.
Okay.